All right, we are back. We have got the Bears Week 1 recap. Just too excited, couldn't keep it in. So we're here recording live Sunday afternoon before the late game slot. But I think we got a pretty structured show here. Jesse, what's the setup that we're going to run through?
Yeah, so I think we'll go through each phase of the ball. So offense, defense, special teams, and then we'll touch on some individual performances. I think we can start with the bad. So we'll start with the offense. Um, you know, with all the new skill positions that we picked up in the offseason with the first overall pick and Caleb Williams, new receiving core, aside from DJ Moore, new running back, and then the addition of Gerald Everett as well. I was expecting to see a little bit more firepower.
Did
It
Gerald
didn't seem
Everett
like
get targeted?
I don't even remember seeing him on the field, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. When you said his name, I was like, wait a second, he plays for us.
Right. So, that was a little bit disappointing. I think as much as as we improved in all those areas, the offensive line is still a glaring problem. And if Caleb doesn't have enough time to feel comfortable in the pocket, um, then it's all for naught. But I do think there were still some times where he was back there, and he did have a quicker release than, for instance, Justin Fields did last year. So there were some moments where some bright spots, you could say, but overall, the offensive performance was pretty abysmal.
Quick question. I don't want to go just yet, but what was the thought on the 3rd and 29 screen pass? That was a little bit of a reflection back into the Nagy era, I feel like.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of screen passes, more screen passes than I was expecting. But
Yeah.
when you do consider, Caleb is still a rookie quarterback. They're trying to get him comfortable in his first regular season game. They want to get him some quick completions, and hopefully the blocking out in front is enough to at least pick up some good yardage and get into some short, manageable situations, which they did a couple times, but they weren't
Right.
able to execute on second down or even third and short.
Right.
Um, so,
The
you
third
know,
down was an issue today.
Third down was a
100%.
big issue. I mean, my thing to your point, Jesse, is I took DeAndre Swift over for receiving yards. I mean, he's kind of a receiving back. I was seeing a lot of those maybe little dump passes, but like we didn't even have enough offensive line to provide him the time to dump those dump passes off. Like that's something that you do with like when you're in the pocket, you go through your reads and then all my reads are covered, drop off to the running back, grab 6 yards real quick. We didn't even have that working for us. I took Cole Kmet over receiving yards and DeAndre Swift. And I mean, I thought I was being real tactful in those two picks. And it was just the exact opposite when it was on the field. So I think obviously there's a few kinks that we can work out in the offense to be like a little bit more cohesive, but there was a few times where it just seemed like the offensive line was so inhibiting in what we were trying to do as a whole, where
I mean,
like I can't
how many
blame
times
offensive coordinator, can't blame Caleb. It was just, I mean, not even close.
how many times was there a big old defensive lineman, either Simmons or Swift, those two huge guys from the Titans, in the backfield like immediately? There's one run play
Immediately.
that
Yeah.
three of the linemen, defensive linemen, just were like there, just right. It was just like I was like, what are we blocking here? So I think that was just a glaring issue. I know those guys are good, but it's like, geez.
no, I think that's a fair point, Tom. I think though that those two guys in the interior that the Titans have between Tavondre Sweat
They're good.
and Simmons. Sweat, is like one of the biggest people that you've ever seen. He makes offensive linemen look small, and the other guy's a veteran who's been in the league for a while and knows how to finesse. I think that will be beneficial moving forward. That they have seen that type of duo in the interior.
I didn't realize they were that good, to be honest, until I started seeing them play, and I was like, wow.
I did not either, Tom.
Like,
But yeah, I mean, I think that that's an interior defensive line that's probably up there in the top 10 of the league, at least maybe top 5. So, that led to a lot of the problems the offense saw, I think.
Yeah. I did want you mentioned Cole Kmet under. I mean, 1 reception for 4 yards. Didn't even see Gerald Everett. I really thought with the new offense coordinator, I can't think of his name right now, Waldron, he would be implementing those guys.
Yeah.
A little more.
Yeah. What if so the first play of the game was a zone run to the left side, 6-yard gain. I was like, all right, this
running
looks good.
Yep.
I think they need to get back to that.
Hole.
Yeah, they need to stick with the run a little bit longer and then get to the play action. I think that will help Caleb get some more time in the backfield. I think it'll confuse the defensive line. They'll need to make a decision on where the ball is at. I think they got away from that a little bit too early. So hopefully moving forward, they'll establish the run game early, use the play action, and that'll kind of be the key to getting Caleb a little bit more time back there and getting him a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Did our offense score a touchdown today?
No. We had 2-point conversion. That's it. Couple things I wanted to point out also while we're on the offensive side of it. Caleb's 19-yard sack just really, really threw us out of any points there through our whole.
And that was him trying to make it happen too. I feel like he had a chance to throw the ball away. Yeah.
Because there was plenty of time. I was like, throw it away. Oh, he didn't. He got out of that one. I was like, oh, he didn't throw it away. Okay, it's a sack.
It's a little USC coming back.
Yeah, like. And then also some drop passes and misfires from
Keenan Allen dropping that pass in the end zone.
Oh, yeah, he dropped that. Caleb missed that fly route right. I mean, that was a huge.
That was also Keenan.
Yeah. They talked about that on the halftime report. I was like, shut up. But it was a miss. Like, throw and catch, you got to make it. So, and then also, I mean, Keenan Allen injury is really concerning.
Was that he had a little heel going into the game, didn't he?
Well, that's what he's had the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That has caused him to miss games.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little worrisome when you were expecting that to be a veteran presence, safety blanket for Caleb. It is nice knowing that we have Rome who can step up and kind of fill his shoes. But beyond that, the wide receiver core gets a little light.
Sure.
We'll skipping ahead to an individual performance that looked pretty good. Sure. DeAndre Carter had a few good catches.
Our running back situation
and then
was different than I would have thought.
We
had Homer. Yeah, Homer. We had I can't think of the guy that fumbled the ball.
Swift, Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert had 2 runs, and he pussyfooted into the third
thought it
one.
Would be that.
He was tiptoeing up to the line.
I thought it'd be more Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Swift, where it was more DeAndre Swift and
Travis Homer.
No,
Roshan.
I didn't see.
I didn't even see Roshan today.
It's just weird.
Bayless, we saw real quick.
Yeah. Let's transition there to I think our second strongest phase was probably special teams.
Yes.
Saw some good things out of Torrey Taylor. I think his first punt was the most likely to be put down within the 5, but it kind of took an odd bounce. They were positioned correctly, but it bounced kind of to the side and then into the end zone. But he seems like he's got a big leg, and he seems like he's got good control on where he can put that.
Did the second punt, was that one that short jumped to somebody? I think that was going to be down with inside the 10 as well, but I think the guy who was back to receive decided to take it, and I think he got it to the 15 or something like that. I mean,
they had. I think the first one went in. I think the second one was a fair catch around the 10, and the third one I think they tried to return.
Yep.
But that's a piece where if the offense is having trouble getting going, at least we know that we can flip the field and put the defense out there. Obviously, Velus Jones had the big mistake on the kickoff return, straight through his arms, and then he kicked the ball 20 yards.
His ass.
They recovered it. So that was tough to see. And I think, he obviously wasn't out there on the next kick return, right? So lost some confidence from the coaching staff and probably a little bit from his teammates. They're not going to say that yet, but if you see a couple more of those mistakes, that might be the end of the story for Velas.
I feel like
anything else special teams wise? I mean, Cairo, he did his job.
Our punt, I feel like we took kicks and made positive plays. Like, I feel like every time we were returning the ball, it was for 10 yards at least. And that was big. And getting Caleb at least get out of the 20-yard line and more. I mean, that was the only thing I really saw. And then obviously we created some turnovers there.
I think we saw a couple safeties in other games today. I think there were 2 safeties in 2 other games today. So, I mean, like –
Denver had 2 safeties on.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we would expect, right? Is, getting pinned with inside the 5 and then trying to make something happen. And, like that's kind of Bears football there, is just getting pinned back and just playing on your heels the whole time. And I feel like, to your point, Tom, we were a little bit more the aggressor in this game, even when we were down at halftime.
Much better starting positions, which was nice to see.
Yep.
Another big play, was on special teams was the block punt. Obviously, that was kind of where the momentum shifted. I think Hardy was the guy who got in there, who had a big preseason and earned himself a roster spot.
I forgot about that, dude. I was going block,
and then Jonathan Owens picked it up and took it in. So that was a huge play. And then shout out to Cairo Santos. He was his usual. He doesn't have the biggest leg, but if you get him 54 yards and in, there's a pretty good chance he's going to make it. So
that will slip up in the preseason. Pretty sure.
50-yarder though, it was good.
Yeah, no, it looked good. It did look good.
Big momentum shifter in the game too. I mean, chip. Got that big play.
Yeah, DeAndre Carter also had that big kickoff return that got us, got us into scoring range. Obviously we didn't score, or we might have gotten a field goal that drive, but that's promising to see. DeAndre Carter could be a special teams weapon like he was in LA last couple of years.
Because we were down 17-3. We got a defensive score, got 2 field goals, then got another defensive score, right? Or a special team score, defensive score. So
So transitioning to the defensive side, I think they did everything they needed to do. They kept us in the game.
Could have had more. I mean, Jalen Johnson missing that pick in the first half. I mean, God, that was the first time they targeted Ridley, and he shut Ridley down all day. I think he only had 3 total targets for the whole day. And defense was astounding. I mean,
the touchdown throw, I didn't love that. I forgot. Was it Jalen? In the right corner of the end zone, he didn't find the ball, and he just caught it for a touchdown. I don't know who that was.
I don't know. Yeah, I would have been covering Ridley for the most part if it was me.
It wasn't Ridley. I don't know who. I don't know. But, whoever that was a bad – he's got to get his –
their tight end, Okonkwo, who is the guy who caught the touchdown. So – it might have been a safety or a linebacker that was matched up on him.
I can't remember.
I think it was I want to say it was I want to say it was 29. Who's that?
Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevenson. Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, frankly, on that ball where Jalen almost got that pick in the first half, Ridley had him beat.
It was a bad ball from Levis. Ridley did have him beat by a mile, really.
For some reason, Jalen kind of held up. I don't know if he was trying to bait Will Levis. Like he thought that he could say, he's open, and then he was going to make up the ground, because that is what happened, but it was only because mainly the ball was underthrown.
Right.
Will Levis did not play good today.
We were talking about how much of a psycho he was, and
they had him out there getting wrapped in memory foam.
Dude, he hurt his back, and then it just was like, you're terrible. He hurt himself, dude. And
smoked by TJ Edwards, didn't he? Or was it Edmonds? I think it was Edmonds.
I don't know, but he got sacked, like not sacked, but like he went into the eye, and his back was like
They were wrapping him up with memory foam out there on the sideline.
Yeah, he had heating that, and like after that, I don't think he played very well. But like, he's got to take care of himself. As a Titans fan,
Really? No, really. Yeah, that's a good point. I went to that Bears bar with my buddy who's a Titans fan. He was pretty excited for this first game for us, and that was his whole thing. Like even before the game, is Will Levis like runs angry and stuff like that, and he's like, I mean, it's cool until you're Cam Newton. Like, I mean, it's you don't want that as a franchise. And then that's all we saw. You know, like you'd think he'd learn from one year to the next year. Like, no, he just, I mean, which you gotta love as a fan. You know, just seeing your quarterback just drop shoulder and. I don't know. It scares you, but it's awesome.
It was awesome. I liked watching it, but
when Edmonds drilled his ass, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
thankfully they got him good on that one because the first couple times he tucked and run, they didn't get a good lick on him, and
he was doing. I was getting angry at him. I was like, stop doing that. Dude.
Honestly,
he was making me mad. But one thing I do want to say about our defense too is the second half run defense was outstanding.
Yep.
Pollard really was getting to us. I think they had over 100 yards in the first half.
So that putting them out on routes too, like a receiver too. They would just line them up out wide.
So that was nice to see us step up and clog those holes a little bit and make more mistakes, get some pressure on Will Levis. That was good to see. The second half we played a little bit more aggressive also, which caused more mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was nervous.
I mean, down 17-3, I was about to turn it off, and I was like, gotta watch it. It's a long game. And I just sat down, and I just was like, deep breath, and we just chipped away, and then I started screaming a little bit, and we got into it, and we won. It was cool. So a win's a win, in my opinion. I don't love how we won, but we'll take it.
Yeah. The Bears bar was electric. I was coming out from ordering some food. We put just like an order of fries on it or whatever, and it was that deflection at the line. Or no, it wasn't a deflection. Will Levis was trying to do that like backhanded pitch thing to somebody, and I was like, oh, like that's just an incompletion or whatever. But he put too much air on it. We intercepted him and ran it back. Everybody was just freaking out and high fives everywhere.
How was one find a Bears bar in Colorado?
I guess so. My buddy here, he doesn't drink hardly at all. I don't know. He was telling me it was like his first beer all week, like takes it pretty easy now. He's a school teacher. Like everywhere he goes, he like sees his, kids, families or whatever, his kids and stuff. So he's like, yeah, just kind of take it easy. He knows everything about every bar in Colorado Springs. Okay. It's the most unbelievable thing. Like I have no idea why he is just like the beacon of all knowledge. But he was like, yeah, there's this Bears bar, it's like 20 minutes south of me. So I showed up, and there were people that showed up at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and they said it was just jammed. Like there was no way that you could get a seat. So we showed up. I showed up actually kind of late, which I didn't feel all too bad about, knowing that it wouldn't have helped if I was there earlier. But yeah, it was an electric environment. That was pretty cool.
It's good.
Oh, yeah.
First Bears game.
What bar is that?
It's called Overtime Bar, and they sponsored, or we were the Jameson guys. They were giving out like samples of Jameson. To which I was like, oh my God, I've never had Jameson before. But they like took a picture of me and my buddy, and it was sweet. So yeah, sponsored Overtime. I'm going to be handing out little business cards, Chi-Town Lowdown next time I'm out there.
Yeah, dude, you got to do that.
It was crazy. My buddy said he watches all the Stanley Cups there. He's never seen the bar this crowded. I mean, there was nowhere to sit.
Yeah, you got to start printing off some Chi-Town Lowdown.
I've got a video.
We'll be like, I don't know who that.
We need to get our damn Twitter going here. I'll post the video. We did the like Bears song,
Yeah.
I don't really know the Bears song.
Bears, Chicago Bear.
Yes, that one. Yeah, I didn't know all the words.
So I did want to mention Daryl Taylor, who we just got at the end of the preseason from the Seahawks. He's the guy who's going opposite Montez Sweat. We started out with Walker. And then Taylor was getting a lot more of the reps later in the game. He ended up with 2 sacks. He's the one who had that strip sack.
Yeah.
No way.
Did we see
sneaky
Booker at all?
I didn't see him. Did we see Booker? I didn't see him.
I didn't see him. Yeah.
Some of the guys that we talked about during preseason, like we
Javon
thought
Dexter?
more of. I didn't see anybody today.
Javon Dexter showed up. Yeah, that big
Yeah.
sack.
He got a sack
Was
as
it a
well.
sack? Sack, yes. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a sack.
Our defense played well.
Tyreek had the pick six off the Levis flick, whatever the hell he was trying to do.
God.
I mean, that's the thing though. Like we had such high expectations to see like, a super high octane offense, and Caleb Williams spread the ball out all over the place. Our wide receiving core is vastly improved, but like we just forgot our defense is just way too sick.
Our defense is who we thought they were.
So to kind of put a bow on this, I think some key takeaways. Obviously, the offense has got to be a lot better. Defense needs to keep doing what they're doing, getting pressure on the quarterback. Next week, we got Houston in primetime at Houston. Obviously, that's going to be a different story compared to this Titans offense. CJ Stroud at the helm. They've got a lot of weapons. We're playing away. It'll be a hostile environment. So, it'll be that much more difficult.
We could steal one there, though.
We could, and hopefully, the offense works out the kinks, and we get ready for that one. That one's going to be really exciting. It's in prime time. I think it's Sunday Night Football.
Let's go.
I won't be able to sleep till like 11:30 at night, so that'd be cool.
Right.
My heart will be pumping.
No, it's going to be a lot.
I'm excited for that. I need to. Huh?
I was just going to say the biggest thing is we came away with the win, right? So we're 1-0. The Packers are 0-1. The Vikings are 1-0.
Sam Darnold.
And the Lions play tonight, and they have a tough opponent. So, they may. I think that's kind of a toss-up there. So, we're in a good position after week one. I think you can't ask for anything more than getting a win.
A comeback win.
Yep.
Tells a lot about our team.
Big comeback. Yeah. No, love to see it. I think we're going to bring a lot of energy into that next game at Houston. Obviously, that's a tough game, being that we're going to Houston, playing at their place. But hopefully that defense continues to play well, and we kind of counteract that high octane offense, and then we can still squeeze a few out. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to be a real good game. I would wonder what that line's going to be. Early prediction line.
-4. Texas.
5.5 Houston.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'll say
3.5 maybe.
I like that 5.5. I was going to say 3.5.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. All right. Well, we'll have to take a look at what that shows up at, but we'll be back. I think we're recording Wednesday, releasing Thursday.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about our week one picks.
No, that's not for today. That is for another day. Soon.
Yeah. Well, still a few games left here.
Yeah. Go Bears.
Go Bears.